Yeah, I'm using my phone as a remote. Like the first time. You gonna see me in there? And I can choose the proper angle. And so it turns out I can just put the GoPro on top of the seat, my passenger seat, and it shows my face in here. Unbelievable. So I'm using GoPro Session 5 at medium angle, like at 720p. It gives me three choices: super view, wide, and medium. And I find that medium is kind of like the best, otherwise everything gets too small. Anyway, just a quick update. I'm in Quebec. Started. I reached Cambridge, my home base, on Saturday. Crossed the border Saturday morning, and parked the truck. Yeah, Saturday around like 10 o'clock in the morning, and went to the hotel for 2 nights. Got a new lens for my camera. By the way, if somebody into photography, check out. Now I'm gonna be posting photography, like anything that doesn't have anything to do with trucking is now posted, like videos and photography, video, equipment, camera, stuff like that is posted on my other channel. It's called Sergei DRATCHEV Photo. I'll put the link in the description below here. But basically, I grabbed my lens and I bought this big, wildlife 200 to 500 millimeter lens. Had some very good time. Went to a conservation area near the river, did a big video, and that's why I'm shooting at 720p, because the 1080 is just huge files. And I did like a 30-minute walk along the river, and I was recording in 1080p, and then I tried to compress it. It was still like 3 gigabytes, even at a fast, when I know a secret spot in Cambridge where the internet is pretty fast, but even then 3 gigabytes is just too much. So I had to added the footage to 720p, so then there's no reason to shoot at 1080, right? So I'm shooting, like always, 720p, 30 frames per second. And so yeah, I did that. The video. Had lots of fun with shooting birds in there with my camera. I had some nice catches. They also on my I started a separate Instagram account again for photography only, because I know lots of you guys get upset. So my battery is getting low on the phone. Get upset for some reason when I upload photography stuff and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so and what happened on Sunday? I went to the truck because I'm supposed to deliver Monday today, and it's a 6-hour drive from Cambridge east towards Quebec. That's where I am now. And I try to start the truck, and the starter does not work. Chick, no power. So I think I left just like right now. You can probably see this light over here, right? So I think I was in a rush to get that lens, and I left these. See these lights, right? And there's 2 of them in the sleeper. So I left these lights in the sleeper. That's what I'm guessing. And basically, the battery died, and it's Sunday. I could have waited till Monday, because then it's much cheaper to get a boost, And there's a bunch of trucks around me over there in my parking area, but because it's a Sunday, it was completely dead. Nobody, nobody to help me out. And so I had to called Mac, and some after hours service answered, and they said, let us check if they have emergency service. And then the guy put me on hold, came back, he says, yeah, no, they basically, I can give you a phone number for a local company. They are always on call, and that's actually the name of the company, always on call. And some guy shows up in a van, like in a small cargo van, 90 minutes later, after I called him. Takes him 5 minutes to boost my truck, and 15 minutes to do the paperwork, and it's only $282 Canadian after tax. I talked to a friend of mine. He says you should have just changed batteries. I said, well, batteries will be 2 times more, right? And there's nothing wrong with my batteries. And I drove, and of course at first it was like 13.6 volts, and then by the time I reached the truck stop yesterday, it was 13.914. So the batteries are fine. It's just that that's what happens. Like it happened previous winter. I forgot. I think I forgot the radio. You know, I left the key in, and it's turned on, like power on, not the starter position, but power to power the radio. And the radio was on, but I often just lowered the volume, you know, but the actual radio was on, and that radio, the truck was sitting like probably for a week or like 5 days. It killed the battery. Maybe the CB was on as well, but basically always but I think I took out the key. I don't know. If I take out the key or turn it to 0, yeah, see, it still works. That's what happened. Like, even though I took the key out of the ignition, if by mistake you leave your lights in the sleeper on, 2 days it's dead. The battery is dead. But anyway, so I could have waited till Monday morning, because then I could have called my Mac dealer. It would be, I could have said, and even this guy, this always on call, I said, what's the difference between the weekend rate and the regular rate? And he says about $100. So I could have waited, but I know that, you know, these guys where I was delivering this TAPV, you know, it's in a important load, and I wanted to be on time here. They were expecting me Monday. If I went to the Mac dealer Monday morning, it would take me like more than 6 hours, because I would have to go through super busy Toronto, right? This way I cross it on a weekend. It was not too bad. No traffic delays, you know. So anyway, I just made a choice, made a decision to just pay extra $100 to be here on time. Because people trust us with the load, you know, you gotta deliver, right? And so another interesting thing happened. So yeah, I delivered this, the guys drove it off. I already know where to go, and finally I found some parking. Last time I was here, there was nowhere to park once you leave the plant or the base. And then finally now, right over here, see, I found the spot. Like, I see people park, like there's a SUV parked like 100 meters away, 300 feet. And I just found this wide area which is designed for parking, so I made sure my truck is not blocking any drive-ins, right? So I'm just parked next to the grass. Beautiful. And so I went for a walk. I know there's a gas station here, and they have a espresso machine, so you can make your own Americano, you know. And then I found a restaurant, so I just took my camera with me, hoping to catch some wild animals, but didn't see any crocodiles for some reason. No, I think there was an elephant, just saw a tail. No, I'm kidding. But even no birds, you know, like over here it's still very cold. No leaves on trees whatsoever. All the trees are bare, even though in Ontario they already start to get out. And of course in the south of US, when I was there, everything is green, right? But here, because it's northeast of Ontario, it's always much colder. And so no leaves. I saw one bird in 1 hour. And so I went to the restaurant over there. I see it says 24 HS, right? So 24 hours. But this is a small town, maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes east of Montreal, which is a huge city, right? And normally these guys, they have menus in English and French, because, you know, they do have tourists, right? Especially from US. But this is a small town. Small towns, And so I go in and I look at everybody, and everybody just goes in and sit down. Nobody waits for for the hostess to sit them. Okay, so I find a table, I sit down, and some French lady shows up and she starts talking in French to me. Café? I say, yeah, oui, coffee, okay. And then she brings me the menu, and I open it. Everything is in French, and I say, you have the menu in English? And she talks in French. And then I open the first page, and right away I see omelette. I say, oh, omelette. And she looks at me, and she keeps not a word of English, you know. And I say, omelette, vegetarian, vegetables. And she like half smiles, and she says, legume. I'm like, what the heck? Wait, I don't want beans. And I said, veggies, legume. Okay, and then later on I actually see in the, how do you say vegetables? Vegetables in French? On Google I see it, legume. So it's not beans, it's not peas, it's vegetables here. So she understands me perfectly, right? I say, no cheese, I forgot this word, like I know it. Fromage, right? Cheese, but I forgot it. And I say, so basically I want a vegetarian omelette, no cheese. And I say, cheese, no cheese. And she's like, fromage? Like, she understands me, right? And she just I see a tiny half a smile somewhere in the back of her face, in the corner. And then something else, you know, I said, and I'm already getting frustrated, right? Because clearly we cannot communicate, but she understands me, but I can see like she just doesn't want to speak English, you know? And I just get my ace from the top of my sleeve. Je ne parle français. Je ne parle pas français. Alright, and that was like always, that breaks the barrier. And she starts talking English. Toast, white, brown. Wait a second, I thought you didn't speak English, right? But anyway, so we start, you know, finally we start talking, and then she says, after that she only spoke in English, and she says, where are you from? I say, Ontario. Oh, Ontario, and you don't speak French? I said, well, I'm trying to learn, but it's very difficult. Oh, okay. And then I look on YouTube how to say great, because I thought, what do I say when she brings, I know merci, au revoir, you know, thank you, bye-bye, I mean, goodbye. And how do I say, you know, when they come over, right? They always, when they bring you the food, then they come over and ask, like, how is it? Okay, the simplest word, great. So I look on YouTube or on Google how to say great in English, and it's like 10 syllables. Okay, 3 syllables. Génial. Génial. And then you can click the button there to know how to pronounce it. Well, nowadays, you don't need to know. You can just show something on the phone, like show the phrase in English. I mean in French, you know. But she brings me something, I say, génial. Okay. Well, anyway, it turns out she was a great lady, so, you know, because, and I said, oh, and then she says, how come you don't speak French? And I said, Canada, one thing about Canada that maybe some of my viewers don't know in the States is that it's called a bilingual country. But bilingual does not mean that all people must know both languages. Bilingual means that the country has 2 official languages, and it's up to you which one you choose to speak. So if you speak only French, you're fully 100% legit. You don't need to know English. And that's why people here, you know, French is the official language. They do not need to know English. But on the flip side, I do not need to know French if I choose to speak English, because English is the official language as well, right? And that's what, when they start telling us, hey, you should know French. Well, I can say, no, I don't need to know French. It's a bilingual country. Each language has full 100% power, right? So basically, they can speak only French, we can speak only English. But of course, you need to have a way to communicate, right? When you come here, like I come for work, like normally, I think once I was, in Ottawa, I decided to go on vacation, but normally I don't come here. It's just the barrier is too big, you know, the language barrier. Even though I live like only a few hours away, but and I asked her, I said, so you speak English, right? And she says, well, we have to speak English because over here we're fine, but if we want to get out, that's what she said. If we want to get out, nobody will understand us. We have to know English. And then there's music playing in the restaurant, and I was listening, just, you know, with like talking to this lady, and everybody in the restaurant speaks French, and I listen to the music. All music is in English. What does that tell you? Like, if they didn't understand English, the music would not be in English, right? But everywhere I go, like, okay, sometimes there's something in French on the radio, but 90% of the time they all play English language songs, you know. It's just, yeah, it's just, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just need to know a few words so that they see you make an effort, you know, like merci, bonjour, or au revoir, you know, I know, egg, you know. But the best scenario is just to look for pictures, you know. If you're ordering in the restaurant, just look for a picture and just use your index finger. Oh, this. Then what else I know? I know c'est tout. You know, because you hear people talk, you know, they say basically anything else, you know, that's it, and you say, yeah, c'est tout, this is it. You know, c'est tout, merci, bonjour, merci beaucoup, thank you very much. You know, you just learn a couple of things and you just use them, you know. But the killer, as I always say, the killer phrase, you must know how to say, I do not speak French, in French. So once you know that, you're golden, you know. All the gates are open. You can order food, you can find the washroom, you can book a hotel. So all you need to know in Quebec is je ne parle pas français. I saw this river on my Google Maps. And I decided to check it out. I'm waiting for a load. I went for a walk. There's a park, as you can see. No leaves. All trees are still bare. No people, but very clean air. Cold. Well, I was sitting at the on the side of the road there in this small town, and then finally I called dispatch. I said, so what am I doing? Like, there's no truck stop here, nothing. And they said, okay, you can move to the west of Montreal. And so I went back to the same truck stop where I was before. And this is a Flying J, just west of the border with Quebec. And at least I found a good spot here. Nobody's gonna hit me. I'm like hidden away. Let me show you. So, see, I found the spot. There's the truck stop over there. This guy's parked next to me. I'm sticking out because there's a concrete piece in the end there, but there's a, see how these guys are angled, right? So, and most people are coming towards the pumps, so they're not gonna go as far as this. So I feel pretty good. Anyway, so no load so far because there's still a weight restriction period here until till the end of May, right? And so we cannot do heavy loads. There was a load I found myself online. It was back from my area, going to Western Canada, but it was not too heavy, and so I called the guy, and the rate was very low, and plus he said the load is not ready yet, it's some kind of a forklift. So, okay, so back at the truck stop, see what happens tomorrow. I don't think now it's 3 o'clock. I don't think much will happen today before 5 because it's Monday. So the plan now, there's a Denny's inside there, and that's why I came here. There's another Flying J, but that one just has some kind of a family restaurant. Family, you know, home cooking, where they probably cook something at home and then bring to the restaurant. We don't want that. So at least Denny's, you know what you're getting. Alright, so I'll check back with you guys tomorrow, see if I get a load. We're gonna finish this with a cool looking black Peterbilt. And I'm not sure why I keep showing you guys Peterbilts, because I'm not a fan, right, per se, but I know lots of guys like classic trucks and gals, and they do make an impression, right? And they kind of grow on you, you know? So he's pulling a aluminum 53, I'm guessing, flatbed. Bunch of tarps on the front, and it's a right nower Ontario license plate. Okay, one more, but this is it. Check out the axles on this bad boy. 1, 2, 5. I can tell you that's a very heavy load. Talk to you guys later. Ciao.